Okay, so let me just try to make this as short as possible because this is a long story, and let me try to put the main part of the story in this part, right? So, like I said, while we were having conversation while working, my colleague just pops out and says like that he was abducted by aliens. It was hard to believe, and some most of us, I think all of us, thought that maybe he was hitting on girls, but then it seemed improbable because this guy was a very quiet person. He was not habitually flirtatious. He didn't have a habit of hitting on girls, even if like some of the girls in that conversation were actually quite pretty, and this girl was like pretty pretty and around his age. So yeah, it could have been possible, but the way he was acting towards her like didn't seem like it. He wasn't like specifically telling it towards her or like towards any of us. He was just putting his input in that conversation, right? So he tells us. I asked him further on this because I was like, okay, let's indulge him and just see what happens. So maybe he's having a breakdown or something like that. Maybe he's having mental issues. I was That's what I'm thinking. Okay, so I mean, then he goes on and says that he lives in a rural village, and at this time, this was in Sri Lanka, so it was the tropics, a very hot place. And then he was like, his village was like had houses far between, and then like with trees all around in between, right? So he says that this one time he was alone at home, and his parents and his brothers had gone somewhere else. It was the school holidays, but they had gone somewhere else to some relative's house, and then he was not feeling too well, so he stayed home. So this was when he was around 18, 17ish, is what he said. And then he found it really hot that night, and it was like so hot that he decided to sleep on the rooftop flat. It was a concrete flat because they were like planning to build up the house further. So there was like a concrete flat on top of his house. So they used to do like on hot nights, they used to just climb on the rooftop. Since like these are guys in his family, they would just climb on the rooftop and just sleep. So he and his brothers had this habit, so he just did that. And then at one point he suddenly realizes that there's like a very bright light above him, and finds it like sort of sucks him up. And then he's in like something like a lab sort of place with strange creatures, like sort of grayish and like thin, bald headed, like over him and doing some sort of experiments on him. And then it hurt a lot, is what he said, and like he woke